Hello, I'm Douglas, and today I'm going to present to you my capstone project. The project I've chosen for my CLC project is cooking. I've chose to use cooking as my topic because I actually barely know how to cook anything. Before I started this project, I could only cook instant noodles. I have a really bad habit of ordering overpriced food on Uber Eats nearly every day, and the amount of money I was spending was nearly $500 a month. I knew I had to stop relying on Uber Eats, so I decided that this capstone would be a great way to motivate myself into learning how to cook. I'm also going to leave my current homestay in around 2 months and go live by myself, so I needed to learn how to cook for myself anyways. I've learned to cook 3 different dishes in total. The English breakfast was the first one I learned since it was super easy. Then I decided to learn to cook food with a slightly more complex recipe like the mapo tofu rice and the seafood pasta. They're all very tasty and I had a lot of fun cooking them. Now, I'll go over the steps and ingredients I used to cook the English breakfast. For the ingredients, I used frozen hash browns and sausage rolls, plain yogurt, frozen mango, milk, cooking oil, 2 eggs, baked beans and tomato sauce, pepper, luncheon meat, bread, butter, condensed milk, and ketchup. For step 1, take out the frozen hash brown and sausage roll and put them straight into the air fryer. Then, heat them up for 25 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, and they're pretty much done. The next step is to prepare the mango yogurt drink. Pour 150 milliliter of milk into the blender, then pour in the frozen mango chunks. Then you want to add a few tablespoons of plain yogurt, add some water, a teaspoon of sugar, and blend them together. And the yogurt drink is finished. For the third step, heat up the pan until it's hot enough, and add some oil. Spread it evenly with a silicone brush, then pour 2 eggs in and add table salt and cover it for 1 minute. Step 4 is super simple. Just pour some baked beans and tomato sauce into your plate with the egg sitting next to it. For step 5, fry the luncheon meat without oil in medium heat until it turns golden brown. For step 6, put a piece of bread in the toaster and toast it for 2 to 3 minutes. Finally, put everything together. Add some butter and condensed milk on the toast, sprinkle some pepper on the eggs, and the breakfast is ready to be served. Now, I'll go over the steps and ingredients I used to cook the mapo tofu. For the ingredients, I used minced pork, tofu, spring onion, soy sauce, oyster sauce, chili bean sauce, mushroom powder, Chinese cooking wine, and cornstarch. Alright, so for the first step, marinate the minced pork with soy sauce, mushroom powder, and cornstarch. Add some cooking wine and mix them well. This is a very common formula for marinating meat. Mapo tofu is usually cooked with beef, but since I only had a minced pork in the kitchen, so I had to make a few changes. For step 2, heat up the pan until it's really hot, and fry the heat with a little bit of oil. Technique I used is called shallow fat fry, which pretty much means frying food using a very little amount of oil with medium heat. Spread the meat on the pan and let it sit for a while. Don't stir it until it turns golden brown, and then you can stir it again until every side is half cooked. For step 3, cut the tofu into small cubes and pour it very gently onto the pan. Make sure you don't break it when you're pouring it. Add some water and keep it at medium to high heat. For the next step, add a tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of chili bean sauce, and stir it very gently. Again, make sure you don't break the tofu. For the last step, mix 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and mix it well with water. Then pour it into the pan while the sauce is boiling. This would thicken the sauce so it doesn't look like soup where it's like super watery. And then you can also add some spring onion at the end, and the mapo tofu is ready to be served. Now, I'll go over the ingredients and steps I used to cook the seafood pasta. For the ingredients, I used prawns, scallop, clams, pasta, onion, garlic, milk, butter, cheese, cream, salt, black pepper, chicken, or mushroom powder. You can use either one of them. Doesn't really matter. So for the first step, Defrost the frozen seafood and dry with a kitchen towel. Make sure it's very dry. For step 2, boil the pasta in medium heat for 7 minutes. Then drain the cooked pasta and put it into a bowl. For the next step, peel and chop up some garlic and put it in the blender and blend it. For step 4, just dice some onions. It's super easy so far. Okay, for step 5, heat up the pan, drizzle some oil, spread it evenly, and fry the seafood on high to medium heat. Add some butter when seafood is golden brown. Make sure you mix it well and you can take it out of the pan. The next step is kind of long. Heat up the pan and fry the diced onions and make sure to use medium heat. Keep stirring it until it turns golden brown. Then you want to add some butter and turn it to low heat. After that, you want to add garlic and fry in low heat and make sure you keep on stirring. Then add a teaspoon of plain flour. Keep stirring until the flour is mixed with the onion. Then you want to add milk very, very slowly as you stir it. Add more milk until there's enough creamy sauce, and then add salt and black pepper, and then some chicken or mushroom powder. For step 7, just pour the pasta into the sauce, stir it for a little bit. Then pour in the cooked seafood. Turn off the heat, add a dash of cream and stir well. At last, pour pasta onto the plate, sprinkle with grated Emmental cheese and add some Tabasco sauce, and it's finished.